Chauncey Van Horn.
Oh man.
And I'm wondering what your, from afar, when you were playing against the Mavericks, there's so much talk about you coming in and adding toughness to this team. What was your feeling in that regard toward the Mavericks? And is that overall the thing that you feel like you are most able to provide this team?
Yeah. Well, first of all, from the outside looking in, I mean, the first thing you see is Luka. He's one of the best players in the NBA. So, he's a great engine for this team. And then, for me, another thing that I looked at is that the guys genuinely like each other. It looks like they like playing together, and it looks like they really play for each other. And I mean, they can score with the best of them. But yeah, I think one thing that I can bring is toughness. I can bring leadership. I can bring defense, and I'm kind of a gap filler. So like from night to night, I can kind of fill in where I need to.
Okay, Dana Larson.
Yes, Josh, can you talk a little bit more about how much you're looking forward to playing with Luka and how you feel you two might complement one another?
Yeah, I mean I've known Luca for a few years. We met when he was 16, so I've known him for a little while. But I'm excited to play next to him because he's one of the best playmakers in the NBA. He has a really high gravity on the court, so he's gonna need guys to help take pressure off of him. But I think I can take some of the defensive pressure off of him. The other team's best guard I'll usually be picking up, so he can just get in where he fits in on defense and handle what he has to on offense.
Okay, and Dana's from Fox Sports Southwest. Callie Kaplan, Dallas Morning News.
Hey Josh, good to talk to you. You mentioned knowing Luca since he was a young teenager. How did you meet him? What were your impressions back then? And where did you meet?
So in the off seasons, I trained in Santa Barbara, California, and we met because he came out there to train for a summer. So we played pickup a few times, and the first time we played, I came back to Miami and I told some of my best friends, I was like, "Yo, I just met this kid. Like, he's gonna be the first pick in the draft. I still think he should have been, but I mean, he lived up to my expectations so far and more. And yeah, I mean, we've just been cool since."
Hey, Brad Townsend, also Dallas Morning News.
Yeah, welcome to Dallas.
Thank you.
Can you tell me what were you do? Did you know about the trade before? Did you have an inkling about the trade beforehand? What were you doing when you found out?
I was actually in California training, but I kind of had an idea that something was gonna happen, but it was between a few teams, so I wasn't really sure. But I'm really glad I ended up here, and hopefully I can bring some positive things to this city and to this team.
Okay, Mark Medina, USA Today.
Josh, good to see you. Thanks for doing this. All things considered, when you weigh the pros and cons of each setup, do you think navigating this season will be easier or difficult compared to the bubble? And what would be your reason?
I'm not really sure if it'll be more difficult or easier. I think it'll be different from a standpoint where, we won't be in just small gyms playing games with just us in there. We're gonna be in arenas now, and from what I know, till further notice, they're gonna be empty. So it's gonna be like giant arenas with just us in there. So that'll be interesting. It'll probably be a little weird shooting and stuff like that, but. I mean, I think it's just going to come down to who can adjust the best and fastest.
Okay, Eddie Sefko, Mass.com.
Howdy, Josh. We're curious, just what's this last year been like for you going from Miami and their culture down there and then to Philly and whatever that is and now here? What's this last year been like for you?
I mean, it's been a blessing just to be able to see, a different landscape. I'm thankful to the city of Philly for everything they did for me and that organization. They have great players there, so it was great to be able to play with some of the best players in the league. And then I think, coming here is going to be a different look for myself. I think that it's a different play style. I think that it kind of fits me more. I think that, Seth will fit in Philly well because he's a great spot shooter. And I think that that's one of their big things that they'll need. So I think me coming here and him going there was good for both parties, but I think a change of scenery is nice.
Okay, Ryan Klein.
Hey there, this is Ryan Klein from Mass China. Actually bringing a question from a fan in China. You're wearing number 0 like Sean Marion used to. Do you see any similarities in your game? Or otherwise, who did you try to model your game after when you were growing up?
I definitely see similarities. Me and Sean Marion. He's a little bigger than I am and taller and stronger and probably jumps a lot higher. But I do think that the intensity that we bring to the court all the time is similar, and on the defensive end we can do a lot of good things. And modeling my game after, when I was younger, I really liked Jimmy Butler a lot, especially like when he was rising in Chicago. I was a big fan. Kawhi Leonard I liked a lot, even though he's bigger than I am. He plays a different position, but just the way that those guys play both ends of the floor. And it was crazy, like, actually being in the Jimmy Butler trade. I was kind of, like, surreal because he was one of my favorite players, and I was getting traded for him, and that was, like, a really interesting thing for me.
Okay, Skylar with the AP.
Welcome to Dallas, Josh. You've probably seen Luka get knocked around a little bit by opponents. Do you see yourself as one of the protectors of Luka, or do you leave that to some of the bigger guys?
I don't know. A guy like me, I don't really take well to my brothers being messed with, but I'm not an instigator of situations, so I'm not going to be out there just trying to get in people's faces and do a lot of extra stuff. But, I mean, if I have no problem, doing what needs to be done if people aren't being treated right, and I feel like there's a few other guys on this team that feel the same way about that.
Okay, Jessica Armstrong.
Hey Josh, what do you know about Rick Carlisle, and what do you think, or how would you fit in his system down here?
I know that he runs a flow offense. I know that he lets his guys play pretty free-flowing. I know that he is a big detail guy. He's a big kind of a stickler about small details, and Spo was kind of like that, so I can kind of, play into that. And I think I fit in to his offensive schemes. Just, I can bring another ball handler to us. I can bring a shot maker, and I know how to find guys, and I know how to encourage guys and keep guys engaged into the game.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to Coop.
Yeah, Josh, I was wondering, having spent your entire career in the Eastern Conference, do you believe that there is a different style that Eastern Conference teams play, attitudes that they have versus, and obviously you don't play as many games against the West, but do you see the difference, and do you think that what the Mavericks have tried to do, bring you in, and the others is trying to bring about maybe a more Eastern Conference mentality, basically sort of zigging where everybody else is zagging in the West?
I definitely have seen differences. The Western Conference, we always would kind of joke like the Western is like a track meet every game and who can score the most, and the Eastern is like who can just whoop the other team's ass more. It's kind of like it's always like a bloodbath in the Eastern Conference, especially when you catch like a rivalry. So I think that a few of us that are coming in this year can definitely bring an aspect of kind of hard-nosed, kind of physical basketball.
Okay, we'll do one more with Chris Henderson.
All right, Josh. So me and you talked before. We talked about sneakers and video games, but I want Mavs fans to know about you. And can you explain to Mavs fans, because you're a competitive guy. I know you're a big FIFA guy, so a lot of guys have been calling you out on that, I see. But can you tell Mavs fans who you are as a player and as a person as well off the court?
Just like my personality, or like what?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I'm very laid back. I'm really even keeled, so like on the court I play with a lot of intensity, but it's kind of funny. Like off the court, I'm very slow motion, chill. Like I don't really get bothered by a lot. I'm pretty easygoing. Like I sleep a lot. I'll say that. But I'm easy. Like I'm not a big high-strung guy off the court. I don't always have to be doing something. I can sit still for hours and be content.
Awesome. All right, Josh, well, I think I speak for everybody who joined for this webinar that we're excited to see you in Dallas, excited to see you out on the court wearing a Mavs uniform. Thanks for joining us, and you are free to move on with your day. Thank you.
All right. See y'all.